Thank you for visiting this exhibit with me, my little fawn. What did you learn? When I see all of this again, I wonder what made me think that making you disappear would take the pain away. Attempting to erase every bit of you meant locking me out of this incredible little room inside my heart. The place that gave me life. The place that inspired me. Now I know that I need to keep that space for you within myself so that I can write and I can live. You're still with me.
You really think that what, disappeared?
No, of course not, my little fawn. But when you died, I found myself in an impossible situation. I was thinking about you all the time. I kept telling myself it was my fault you weren't here anymore. It's awful to love someone that much, you know?
On the contrary, I think it's beautiful.
Sure, it's beautiful and awful. So I looked for a solution.
How?
I did what I always do. I watched movies.
Like what?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's about a couple who are separating.
Mom.
I know. I just wasn't in the mood for rom-coms at the time. If I had been, I wouldn't have gone for something starring Jim Carrey. Anyway, in the movie, there's a machine that erases people's painful memories. Jim Carrey is heartbroken, so he uses that machine because that's the only way he can go on living. That's what I tried to do with you. To get you out of my mind.
Except you didn't have a machine.
No. I had medication, I had a job, and I even did a farewell ceremony. I thought that if I could get you out of my head, I might be able to feel better.
Did it work?
Of course not. Why should it? That wasn't the right way to handle things. Now I know how lucky I am. To be able to think about you every day. Even though it's hard sometimes. I think about your laugh, the one you made when your dad would attack you with a toy knight. I think about your little doodles. You came back from kindergarten every day with fistfuls of them. We filled up all the walls with them. So we ended up having to sneak some into the garbage.
I knew it!
But I promise I always looked carefully at them before. I think about the way you would sound complicated words. Escarpment. Onomatopoeia. Cacophony. They were in stories we'd read to you. You loved to parrot them back. I think about all of it, little dear. And it's a reminder that you are here with me. I carry that with me into every decision I have to make. And I won't let it go for the world. It's a bit silly, isn't it?
What is?
All of this. Me talking to you right now. Also, just look at this sky. You usually only get these kinds of sunsets in Hollywood movies. Marie is on death's door and I'm out here chatting with my daughter's ghost?
I told you I'm not a ghost. And I love chatting with you, just getting to know you better.
It's a little late for that, don't you think?
It's never too late for a good story. That's what you always said.
I say a lot of stupid stuff.
And if you'd written down half the ones you taught me at bedtime, you'd be rich. Do you remember the one with the horse tribe that does karate?
Ninja Palooza?
Yeah, it was so good. And the duck who kept solving crimes around the farm while drunk.
Inspector Drunkass. No one is going to publish that.
That's too bad. It would be a lot better than Marie's books of Russian folk tales.
Those books were a snooze fest.
Right?
Then why did you hug her so hard every time she bought you a new set?
Because you can be a child and still know how to be diplomatic. Where are you up to with your script?
I haven't looked at it in ages.
Is your job for Grandma taking too much time?
Getting myself out of bed is taking too much time.
Oh, come on, stop it. The whole depressive thing doesn't suit you.
And, to be honest, I'm not too fond of the whole petulant tween thing. I liked it better when you were 4 years old.
What are you going to do? Give me a spanking?
Oh, I suppose you're too old for that. I'm so happy to see you.
So am I. And I think you're very pretty.
Oh, thank you, little phone. I only sleep about 5 hours a night. My hair is so dirty that it won't budge even if I untie it, and I'm smoking more than the Amazon rainforest under Bolsonaro.
I've noticed. That's very bad, by the way. That stuff kills, Mom.
Would that be so bad?
Here we go again. If you really were gonna kill yourself, wouldn't you have done it by now?
You're pretty sharp for an imaginary kid. I'm sorry, Astrid.
Sorry for what?
You know.
I have no idea. I don't read minds anymore. My mom raised me better than that.
That's cute, little fawn. I'm so sorry about... That wasn't a joke.
Sorry, I'm sorry. It's just... Do you remember what happened?
Of course I do. I was driving you to Mina's birthday party. And...
Okay, I know that. But how did it happen? See? That's why I was laughing. You totally forgot how it happened. For all you know, we were struck by a meteor through the windshield or something. So I ask again. Why are you sorry?
Stop it. I know what you're trying to do, but whatever happened, it was me, Astrid. It was my fault.
All right. You're not ready to talk. You need more time to think.
Astrid. Come back. Needs more time to think. What did she mean by that? What am I even talking about? I'm mulling over my dead daughter's imaginary advice? I'm going off the deep end here. I know. That's what I need to focus on. I think it's coming back. Yes, it is. Just try a little harder, you know. I need to dig deeper. What does it mean to be a mother? Is it being 100% focused on your child? Is it always knowing what to do? Never having any doubt? Is it sacrificing your ambitions? If you do all that, are you automatically a good mom? And what if you don't manage it? Does that make you a bad mom? I've asked myself all of these questions a lot. Do you want to try and find an answer together? Good mom? Bad mom? Maybe I should start with telling you the fun moments. I was so fired up by your birth. I felt like I was high on drugs. I was taking care of you, working, seeing friends. I was living. Alex and I even became involved in politics. We were trading weekends to attend climate marches. I was ready to fight to make a change in the world. It kind of came out of nowhere. I was feeling gunky and I was a bit late, so I decided to take a test without putting too much stock into it. And here is the picture I sent to your dad. I remember that the stick wasn't even dry yet. Can you imagine the surprise? I'll admit that back then, I didn't know whether I would be pregnant one day. Your dad and I hadn't really planned it this way. We'd been talking for a while about having a kid one day, but that was only a plan. In the meantime, we were being careful, but we obviously hadn't met you yet. Of course, a mere condom wasn't going to stop you. As soon as I saw the test, my head exploded, my little fawn. I was happy. Just happy. Nothing else. It was an incredible feeling. That was the year before you were born. Alex had been on my ass to get in touch with the friend of a cousin of one of his friends who was a producer. Anyway, I was supposed to schedule a meeting with him during the next Cannes festival. I wasn't planning on going to Cannes at all. But I did what I was told. I managed to slip into a party where I eventually met the guy, and it worked out. Yeah. We spent the night smoking cigs, sounding off about the worst turkeys from the festival. And a few weeks later, I was writing a spec for a series. Thus, within the span of a year, I delivered 2 babies. Astrid, in January, just over 8 pounds, hungry as a wolf, and a mug to die for. And then, my first professional screenplay in August. 47 pages. A veritable leap forward in my career. All of a sudden, things just fell into place. I was a screenwriter. I was getting paid for writing. Sure, it was a crappy series, but that third paid very well. I was so proud of everything that was happening to me. And at the same time, I lost sleep over it for weeks. Because there were some dark thoughts too. The ones your light could not dispel. "58 tons per year. A kid equals 58 tons of carbon dioxide per year. That's the same as 58 plane trips to New York and back, or burning 50 tons of coal. Having a baby in this world, as everything was collapsing around us, that was a stupid idea. You didn't really get the chance to witness it, but this is a funny time we're living in. Imagine having an incredible daughter and a job you've wanted forever, and then you get glued to a screen and it bums you out. I would see people on social media, people I would never even have heard of in real life. And they were great parents, great artists, working on great stuff, having great success. Everybody seemed way ahead of me. And it felt like it was my fault for being so behind. How dared I aspire to being happy? A couple of months before you were born, Marie showed up with a cardboard box under her arm. She had found the mobile. When I was preparing for your arrival, I hung it above your crib. After you were born, I would spend hours watching it turn every time you breathed. It was always moving, finding its balance. Wonderful. Alive. Just like you, and also so fragile. Way too delicate. A mere gust of wind could have shattered it to a million pieces. Just like you. I found it adorable that Marie came to bring us this mobile. And yet, I was scared when I learned I was pregnant. I was scared at the mere idea of telling her. It was beyond me. I panicked. So I decided to hide you for as long as I could. Obviously, she eventually noticed that I was pregnant. And her reaction was... she was jumping for joy. Why had I been so scared? It seemed so silly. I know breastfeeding while on a cell phone isn't exactly what you picture from a perfect mother. Well, that only happened once, or maybe twice, or a bunch of times, actually. I loved connecting with you, It was a magnetic force. Time disappeared when I looked into your eyes, but sometimes I was overwhelmed by everything else. The earth that keeps on spinning, the anxiety of not doing enough, projects at a standstill while others are going full speed, and then the fear that it would all stop. That's always a little bit there. But I think I was stronger than that in the end. Oh, wow. I just remembered something that happened years ago. I guess I was 16 or 17 years old. I was in my room, staring at this mobile instead of doing my homework. Marie was in the next room, the living room, giving an interview. It was a first. I overheard her talking to the journalist with a soft voice. She was obviously trying to win her over. It was funny at first. She was giving all these juicy details about the crazy nights of a female artist in the 80s. And then she said she got pregnant after one of those nights. And at that time, she seriously thought about giving up the child. And suddenly, I understood that that child, the one she didn't want, that mistake, that was me. To me, being a mom was one of the greatest joys in my life. I wanted to feel you growing inside of me and then meet you and live all that, the whole experience. And writing was the same. I really wanted to do it, and then I actually did. I wanted these things. I bore them and I cherished them. But I struggled with them too, because I was scared. I had doubts, but really most of all I had this lingering feeling that maybe I shouldn't have been there. And when I lost you, and writing had lost its meaning, that feeling came back with a vengeance. This feeling, this knowledge that whatever I do, it is not enough.
Why are you sorry?
It's hard to be a good parent when you're a damaged adult. You become responsible for a life. That requires courage, confidence, and a lot of nerve. And it's really easy to get it wrong.
What does that mean?
How can I explain? For the first few months of your life, you were like an extension of me. You couldn't talk, you couldn't walk, you could barely see, actually. And I was feeding you out of my own body.
Yuck.
Yeah, yuck! Having your life in my hands. That funny feeling. That's what being a mom was all about to me. And then one day... you got sick. It just looked like a cold at first. Alex would wash your nose twice a day with saline. Pulling neon yellow snot tentacles out of your nose amused him no end. I couldn't do it. Then, things got worse. One Friday night, I was alone with you. You started having difficulty breathing. You were in the living room, stacking wooden cubes, and I just kept staring at your chest. You were struggling to get enough air into your lungs. I tried copying your breathing, and I got woozy. It set my head spinning.
So, what did you do?
I grabbed my phone and called our doctor. I told him I didn't care what time it was, that I needed to come at once. I felt really guilty that it'd taken me that long. I hadn't wanted to disturb him. I was so scared that you were going to die. And when I got to the doctor's office, I was a mess. The doctor asked me what was wrong with you, and I said that you were having difficulty breathing, and he was so calm. He made me want to smash his teeth in. He asked me to put you down on the examination table and take your shirt off so he could listen to your breathing. And when he got close to you with his stethoscope...
What happened?
You peed on him.
Excuse me?
This beautiful golden stream. A perfect arc from your hoo-ha to his coat.
Awkward.
Well, you didn't mind at the time. You were chirping and staring at him. And he said, "Well, this little girl looks perfectly healthy." And I started crying.
Well, yeah, you must have been relieved.
I thought so at the time. But it was more than that. I can see it now. The most important part of being a parent, and also the hardest lesson to learn. You need to trust your children.
Trust them to pee on doctors?
Trust them to live. You weren't there so I could feel like a good mother. You were there to live your life, to become yourself. It seems obvious, doesn't it? But I didn't see it. So I spent a lot of my time feeling guilty. Telling myself that I didn't deserve you.
What? I don't believe it. I was your biggest fan, you know?
Really?
Of course. You were relentless. You even found the time to work on your scripts. You were working your ass off to make your stories amazing while you were busy taking care of me. How did you manage to be strong like that?
I mean, your father was there as well.
I know! Imagine! 2 kids at home!
Oh, come on.
Mom, you know I love Dad with all my heart. But in my view, he probably regards mental fortitude as a kind of superpower.
Okay. It was really hard. I almost gave up so many times. My career wasn't going where I wanted, certainly not as fast as I wanted, but I held on. I was just happy to write. After years of writer's block, everything unlocked all at once. I think it was your arrival that liberated me somehow. Every morning was magical. I'd grab you in my arms. You'd smile back. You trusted me. I had no more doubt, no more questions. I knew exactly who I was. No one had ever looked at me that way. What an incredible gift.
It's just a shame you spent your best years writing for soap opera.
Wow! You do a great Marie impression. I'm better now, you know? It still hurts like hell. But I get it. I can survive this. On a good day, I can even convince myself that it could be worse. I might have never fallen in love with Alex.
Really?
Do I need to remind you that he's a video game developer? Those guys are terrible conversationalists. You've taught me all of this. You helped me open doors inside myself. That's what allowed me to grow. Of course, I'll go on without you. I have to. But it's really, really sad.
How does the movie end?
What movie?
The Eternal Sunshine of... whatever.
No. Well, Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet meet again. And since they don't remember each other, they fall in love again. But then they find old recordings of them saying horrible things about each other.
And? Do they split up again?
No. They decide to experience their relationships again because they want to recapture the good memories, even though they know that it's going to hurt them. I loved that ending.
I know what you mean. I understand why you're sad, Mom. But you can't be sad forever. It doesn't help you, and it doesn't help me. Life's short enough as it is. Why waste any more time?
Do you think it's that easy? That I can just press a button and pow?
You can be so egotistical sometimes.
Excuse me?
Where do I fit into all this?
But I was just...
So what? I'm going to be a bad memory for the rest of your life? A distressing thought inside your head? Do you even realize what that means? I'm scared.
Oh, what are you scared of, my little fawn?
I'm scared that I'll disappear.
But you're already dead.
That's not the point. I'm talking about disappearing from here. This is the only place where I still exist. Just here. But I don't want to be this rusty nail that's killing you by degrees. You do realize that's not me at all? You do know that if you keep at this, I'm not going to exist anywhere. Anymore. You don't have to do this to me, Mom. You don't have to do this to yourself. How much longer do I have to make you miserable?
I know you don't deserve that, my little dear. It's all my fault.
Stop it, Mom. Just stop. You're stuck on repeat. I know that this can be easy to process. And I know that the truth hurts. But right here, right now, you're gonna have to remember. Really.
I'm not sure what you mean. What are you talking about? Astrid? Astrid! She's right. Of course she's right. I need to remember now. It's time. I think I'm ready. That's it. I remember now. Not everything, but
You could at least crack a window. All that rain brought a cool front.
It had just rained. The road was wet and slippery.
Ah, shit, I can't drive with these heels on. I didn't sleep all night. I can't focus. Also...
I was exhausted, stressed out, in no condition to drive. I was nervous about meeting with my producer.
Mom, watch for the deer!
I don't know why I didn't see the deer earlier. My mind must have been elsewhere. When I heard your warning, my first thought was to avoid hitting it. They were your favorite animal. So I swerved and we ran off the road. And then... What are you doing, my little fawn?
Playing with Grandma's dollhouse.
What game?
I'm playing you when you weren't a mom yet.
Can I play? I'll be Alex. Hey.
Hi, do you want a baby?
Oh, this is moving a bit fast. What the heck? Let's make the best little girl on earth.
Of course she'll be the best. Well, I'm the one making her in my belly, so...
Talking to you was intoxicating. Every time you opened your mouth, I was expecting the unexpected. I loved the way that your little brain continually managed to make sense of the world. But that day, the most astonishing thing was your assurance. How on earth did you have so much trust in me?
Damn, June, I can't believe it. I'm going to be a dad. We're going to be parents. When I got your picture, I yelled so loud, I think 3 guys here had a stroke. I'm just unable to focus on work. I'm so happy. It feels so... I feel like it's going to change my life. No, I mean, it's going to change me. Like, I'll never be the same again. I can't wait. And you, what do you think?
I think you should take the afternoon off and come home.
Oh, okay. But why? Is there an emergency? Do you need me?
I don't need you. But I am wondering what it's like to have sex with a dad.
Wow, what a weird thing to say. I'm on my way.
He was right, you know. Your dad. When you arrived, he changed to his core. Before you were born, he was always a bit lost, a bit wandering through his own life. But from the day you showed up, it was as if everything had become clear for him, as if he finally understood what he was doing here.
Listen to me, Juno. You and Alex brought an extraordinary little girl into this world. Astrid was our sunshine. She gave us all a lot of light all through her tiny life. You were able to make such a being because you have it in you. The sun. And the sun never goes out. It shines. So hang on. And shine bright. I know you can. I'm proud of you.
You and Marie have a connection that's peculiar. You used to spend hours in her shop watching her paint. She loved that you were so curious. She smiled at you, explained stuff to you. She asked for your opinion about her work. Can you imagine? When I was 4 years old, I wasn't even allowed in her damn workshop. But you had something inside of you that completely changed her. Actually, I think this is what saved me that day. The idea that even Marie could be touched by a ray of sunlight. There had to be one out there for me too. It might be the right time for me to admit it, my little fawn. You don't have magical powers. You never had any. You didn't put us under a spell. Not Marie, nor your dad or I. It's easy to hide behind the fact that your being there made everything else possible. And to convince ourselves that your not being there is forever locking us out of being happy. But that's not true. The seeds that allowed us to change were always inside of us. Sure, they were buried deeply, but they couldn't wait to grow. And you were simply an incredible, a wonderful beam of sunlight.
You don't have to do this to me, Mom. You don't have to do this to yourself. How much longer do I have to make you miserable?
My little fawn, I can't do this to you. I don't know if I'll ever be able to forgive myself for what happened, but you've brought too much light in my life for me to reduce you to that.
What is that? Mom, what do you mean by that?
You know what I mean.
I do, but I'm not sure you do. So I'm going to need you to say it. What is that?
The accident. It was an accident.
Yes, it was an accident, Mom. I lived a life full of joy and laughter and vibrating plastic lightsabers.
You shouldn't ever have found that. And it wasn't a lightsaber.
You think I don't know that? I lived a great life full of love. I will always love Dad, Marie, Diane, and you for everything you've given me. For the cozy spot that you made for me in your lives. And then one day, there was an accident. It was an accident. Say it again.
It was an accident.
An accident. A disaster. A calamity. There's nothing to forgive. It's not your fault. You know that, right? Deep down.
Do I? Then why do I feel all this guilt?
Yeah, that's another mystery. You're angry. But are you sure that you're angry at yourself, Mom?
I don't know.
I believe in you. You'll figure it out. And when you do, you'll make the right decision. I think you're ready now.
I'm ready. leave now. I've got this.
I know. I love you very much, Mom.
Me too, Astrid. I love you very, very much. I know you'll always be with me. I can feel you are here, and it gives me strength. And I'm going to need a lot of that if I'm going to go in there. But Marie needs me, and we have a lot to talk about. I guess I should have asked the doctor to give me a little something before I went into this room. You don't get free samples of benzos every day. All right, Junon. Cut the bullshit. Hi, Marie. Sorry I made you wait. I had to sort out a few things. A lot of things. But anyway, you knew I was coming eventually, didn't you? You've always had this weird gift of knowing what we're about to do before we even think about doing it. Once again, you were right. I'm here. But I almost didn't come in. I was close earlier, but I just stood outside the door. I was angry at you. I don't even know why. I mean, you're not exactly the warmest mother in the world. Still, why are things so complicated between us? Why do I always feel so threatened when I'm around you? Come on. A crucifix? You? Wait, is it... I remember now. I've seen this before. Was that last night? Oh, shit, now it's all hazy. Hold on. What's that around your neck? Is that a cross?
This? It's a childhood keepsake. I found it in my stuff a while back.
What? Were you a choir girl or something?
It's a bit more complicated than that.
I'm listening. Please, you never told me anything about your youth.
Ugh. What the heck? After all, why not? That might do me good. And I owe you that.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. Just shut your mouth, pour me a glass of wine, and listen. We used to live in a small village in the east. Grey, boring, and hideous. People were dumb and mean, always keeping tabs on others to tear them down. And of course, these fakers were in church all the time. I spent years in that cesspool, never asking questions. When I was 14, let me tell you, Jesus was my best friend. I would tell him about everything I did wrong in my head. And let me tell you, I was a terrible kid. Nosy, ill-behaved, always running around. A tiny devil. And also, I had this desire and fire in my chest. Nasty thoughts. But I really thought that he loved me as I was. Back then, I had 3 sources of comfort. Jesus, books, and drawing. So I spent an insane amount of time sketching in the neighborhood churches. It was a disease. Everything I laid eyes on had to end up on a sheet of paper. At least then, people left me alone. Otherwise, let me tell you that I never got a minute of peace. Family with 4 kids living in a 2-room apartment. So, I looked after them. Washing them. Doing their homework. I was the oldest. 7 years ahead of my oldest brother. Those little ones were like my own kids. My mother had too much work. At least, while I was taking care of them, I didn't have those weird desires. My dad always had a steak on his plate when he got home. Every night. My mother used to say that he deserved it, working his ass off at the mill for us. But one night, I was still awake when he came home. He was completely shit-faced. He was living in a fallen world. The steel industry was his life, but his life had no tomorrow. So he drank. That night he looked at me... weird. I didn't understand. I felt guilty. We were 2 peas in a pod, my aunt and I. She was the whore in the family. She didn't want to settle, she didn't want kids. She had escaped to live the crazy life in Paris. Freedom. The exact opposite of my mother. One time, she told me something about my mom and dad. Something that blew everything else up. There was an evening dance. He was 19, and she was 15. According to my aunt, he was a bit tipsy. He brought her into a small clearing, and there, he forced her. They had to get married in a hurry after that, when they learned that my mother was pregnant. Pregnant with me. My mother always worked her butt off. She would work one factory job after the other, then clean up rich folks' homes. I used to think she was the bravest person in the world. And the strongest. Of course, she had her own temper. She would get into these screaming matches sometimes. And she would drink too. But I was convinced that I could trust her. One night, I went out with some girlfriends and boyfriends. We only went to the movies, but she lectured me. You're bringing shame on this family, she said. People at church are talking. Something bad's gonna happen to you if you keep tempting men. I answered that if it ever happened to me, I, for one, wouldn't marry my abuser. She hit me. For the first time. She hit me again later. I was getting slapped around because she hated her life. I was blaming her for not fighting back. I wasn't going to let her treat me like this. The day after, it felt like a spell was broken. The church stank. The sculptures were ugly. And the male-dominated Jesus stuff made me sick. You don't love me, I whispered to him. Bastard. At that very moment, and that, let me tell you, that's something I'll never forget. The Christ started to bleed. I had my first period right after my tantrum at the church. I was already 14 years old. Pretty late. But then, my body started to develop. The more my body changed, the more my father scared me. Hell, he terrified me. Not just because he was domineering and brutal. It was uncomfortable even being in the same room as him. He was always watching me, commenting on my clothes. I felt like a piece of meat. The last time she raised her hand to me, she hit me so hard. My nose started bleeding. We were having another fight about one of my outings. By that time, I was going out for real, just to spite her. You know me. She called me a harlot. So, I bit back. At least I'm not gonna stick with the first guy who knocks me up. I didn't have time to finish saying it. Whack! She slapped the shit out of me, and she spit out. If it were up to me, you're the one I would have dumped. It's stupid. But that struck me right in the gut. And that's when it came up, boiling. The rage. I tasted blood in my throat. I couldn't think straight. My ears started ringing. I felt a jolt running through my body. And then And it was over. I couldn't walk it back. This cross is the only thing I have left from her, you know? I took it when I left home that very night. I stole it from her. I don't know why I took it. I used to do that a lot back then, steal stuff, but I'm happy I did it. It gives me a chance to think about her, to remember, never to be like her. You see, I'm always telling you to face things head on. But that day, I left. I met with my aunt in Paris, with just a few cents in my pocket. I never saw them again. Not her, not him, not the kids. And I never turned back. You hear, Miss Kivas? Shit, don't tell me you fell asleep. Ugh, what a disaster. You really can't handle your booze. Don't worry, daughter. I will still be there tomorrow, and the next day too. There to tell you again what you already know. People are ugly, let me tell you. They're dangerous, all of them. That's just the way things are. It's inside them. The evil is, we need to defend ourselves. Stay vigilant. That's how I got out of it. Jan gets it, I think. But you, darling, you're too weak. You want to trust people. You want to have faith, but I told you many times. You can't trust anyone. Ever. You don't need me to tell you that. Life's unfair. That's just how it is.
So this is what your life was like. That explains so many things. Now I understand why you can't trust anyone. Why you don't let anyone love you. Anytime I think about how it must have been for you, it's increasingly obvious. How lucky I was to have Astrid. Every second of my life I spent with her was filled with happiness. You never got to have that. Not as a daughter, nor as a mother. But how could I forget what you told me last night? I mean, I wasn't all there. Too little sleep and too much wine. But for the first time in your life, you open up a little and I nod off? It's absurd. As if I didn't want to hear it. Was it that I was angry that you waited so long before telling me? Or was it something else? Something I didn't want to look in the face until now? Don't forget to